Imagine waking up in a country where you can drink your morning coffee on a clean, efficient city street, and by late afternoon, you're walking on a real sandy beach, watching the sun drop into the North Sea. Then, the same night, you're back in a high-energy city. Lights, music, people, art, like Europe's answer to the big streets you usually associate with New York or Hollywood. That is the Germany most people don't picture. Because when you hear Germany, you probably think castles, cars, history, and serious faces. But Germany also has beach islands with dunes and luxury vibes, waterfront cities with skylines and nightlife, and streets so alive they feel like movie sets, full of fashion, neon, and crowds moving with purpose. So in this journey, we're gonna test the dream, Germany as a lifestyle destination. Beaches, Hollywood streets, and city energy. And we'll do it honestly. What's amazing, what's overrated, and what daily life really costs. Germany sits right in the heart of Europe, and it's famous worldwide for engineering, quality of life, and strong public systems, transport, healthcare, education, and infrastructure. But lifestyle-wise, Germany attracts very different types of people. Tourists come for iconic history and modern city culture. Students and young professionals come because education and career paths are strong, especially in major hubs. Families come for safety, structure, and public services. And there's also a quieter crowd, people who want stable, predictable living with good work protections and easy travel access to the rest of Europe. If you want beaches, Germany's coastal identity is mainly in the north, on the North Sea and Baltic Sea. Places like Sylt, Usedom, and Rügen show a side of Germany that feels almost like a different country. Sand, wind, dunes, seaside promenades, and spa town charm. And if you want Hollywood streets, Germany doesn't mean celebrities walking around in sunglasses. It means streets that feel iconic, where people go to see and be seen. Think major shopping boulevards, stylish districts, architectural landmarks glowing at night, and crowds that create that cinematic urban rhythm. Now let's talk about the famous places, because Germany is not one single vibe. It's a collection of very distinct worlds. In Berlin, the movie set feeling starts with the classics. The Brandenburg Gate is one of those landmarks that looks powerful in daylight, but feels almost unreal at night when it's lit up and the city hums around it. If you've ever wanted that "I'm really in Europe" moment, Berlin delivers it quickly. Here, streets like Kurfürstendamm give you a more polished, shopping-heavy city feel, while areas around Alexanderplatz lean more busy and central, full of movement and transit energy. Even if you're not shopping, the people watching feels like a documentary in real time. For visuals, the Brandenburg Gate at night is exactly the kind of image that sells the city energy idea. Hamburg is Germany's water and light city. It has a serious international port atmosphere, and the architecture by the harbor can feel dramatic, especially around the Elbphilharmonie, one of the most recognizable modern buildings in the country. It's the kind of place where you can spend the day around the waterfront, warehouses, canals, and new districts, then shift into nightlife later. And yes, Hamburg has one of Germany's most famous nightlife areas, the Reeperbahn, which is known for clubs, bars, and entertainment culture that can be fun, intense, or too much, depending on your style. If you want a strong visual for Germany's city energy, Hamburg's harbor skyline and the Elbphilharmonie at dusk are perfect. Munich is the clean, premium lifestyle version of Germany, more polished, wealthier on average, and heavily associated with Bavaria's traditional culture and modern business wealth. It's the city where parks, beer gardens, and high-end shopping can all exist in one afternoon. You might spend time strolling through the English Garden, free, huge, and central, then end up in a classic beer garden environment, where the vibe is social but still orderly. The Viktualienmarkt area is a strong example. It's lively, local, and tourist-friendly at the same time. Now, let's go where people don't expect Germany to go: the beaches. Sylt is Germany's luxury beach name, often described as glamorous, windswept, and expensive. It's the kind of place where the sand is wide, the dunes feel cinematic, and the crowd can be noticeably upscale, especially in certain areas. The landscape itself is what surprises people. It doesn't feel like Germany in the stereotype sense. It feels like a minimalist coastal dream, built for long walks and quiet luxury. Rügen, Germany's largest island, is famous for its chalk cliffs and Baltic Sea scenery. If Sylt is luxury and dunes, Rügen can feel more like nature drama, with cliffs and coastal viewpoints that look like they belong in a travel film. So Germany's dream lifestyle is real in geography. You can mix cities and coast in one country without leaving its borders. Now let's move to the most important lifestyle topic: food culture. Germany's food story is not just sausages and beer. It's a mix of classic German comfort foods, immigrant-influenced street food, and regional specialties that change from city to city. In Berlin, street food is one of the easiest ways to live well on a budget. The city's famous street food staples like currywurst and doner kebab are everywhere, and for many travelers and locals, they become a daily habit because they're fast and relatively affordable. Typical street food costs often land around the mid-single digits to about 10 euros, depending on location and portion. Hamburg's food culture leans maritime. A very local experience is grabbing a Fischbrötchen, a fish sandwich in a roll, often with herring or other seafood. It's simple, salty, and totally tied to the harbor identity. And for a sweet snack, Franzbrötchen is one of Hamburg's signature pastries, cinnamon, buttery layers, perfect with coffee. Munich and Bavaria bring a different mood: markets, pretzels, hearty plates, and beer garden food culture. The social rhythm in beer gardens is part of the lifestyle. Families, friend groups, tourists, older locals, all sharing tables. You can eat casually, but it can also become expensive quickly if you treat every night like a festival. To keep the food costs clear, here's the reality in everyday terms. If you were eating budget style, bakeries, supermarkets, street food, you can often manage meals in the range of a few euros to around 10 for a filling quick meal. Berlin's street food pricing is often referenced in that typical range. If you eat at a mid-range restaurant, you should mentally prepare for something closer to a sit-down, proper meal cost, often roughly in the teens to 20s per person, depending on the city and what you order. And if you go luxury, fine dining, premium districts, high-end seafood, tasting menus, you can spend as much as in other major Western European cities. Germany can be moderate day to day, but it can absolutely become expensive if you chase the high lifestyle every night. Now, lifestyle and daily life. This is where Germany either wins you over or feels difficult. Germany is structured. Daily life tends to run on systems: public transport schedules, appointments, paperwork, rules in shared buildings, quiet hours in many residential areas. For some people, this feels safe and calming. For others, it can feel rigid. Work-life balance often depends on your sector and city, but Germany's known for strong worker protections compared with many countries. The lifestyle rhythm in many places is work, then real rest. Not always flashy, but stable. Social life in Germany can be amazing, but it often requires initiative. People may seem reserved at first, but friendships can become deep and loyal once they form. Nightlife depends heavily on the city. Berlin is the global headline. Hamburg is lively and edgy in parts. Munich is more polished and traditional, though still fun. Safety and cleanliness are generally strong compared with many major global cities, especially in residential zones and smaller cities. In big hubs like Berlin, you still need normal city awareness, busy transit areas, nightlife zones, tourist-heavy spots. But overall, Germany is a place where many people feel comfortable using public transport late, living without a car, and walking around in dense city neighborhoods. Transportation is one of Germany's best lifestyle advantages. If you live in a city, you can often rely on trains, U-Bahn, S-Bahn, buses, and regional connections, and the Deutschlandticket has become a major part of the affordability conversation. It costs 58 euros per month in 2025, and Deutsche Bahn notes it will be 63 euros per month from 1 January 2026. That's a big deal for daily life because it changes how easy it is to explore. Weekend trips, lakes, nearby cities, even some coast routes, without constantly buying separate tickets. Now, the cost of living reality, because this is where the dream lifestyle needs honesty.
Germany is not a cheap country in the way some people imagine. It's more accurate to call it moderate to expensive, depending on where you live and how you live. Rent is the main pressure point, especially in major cities. Prices can vary wildly by city, neighborhood, and whether the apartment is furnished, central, or newly renovated. Berlin, Hamburg, and Munich all have strong demand, with Munich usually considered the most expensive among the big three. For a simple reference point, guides discussing Berlin commonly show that rent takes the biggest share of a monthly budget, and a comfortable monthly plan includes rent, groceries, and transport as major lines. Food costs can be controlled if you cook at home and use supermarkets. Germany is good for that. But if you eat out often, you will feel the cost quickly, especially in Munich and in tourist centers. Transport can be surprisingly manageable if you use subscriptions like the Deutschlandticket. Daily expenses, coffee, occasional taxis, gym, entertainment, depend on your lifestyle, but Germany is the kind of place where you can live simply and well if you don't chase constant luxury. So who should visit or live in this Germany dream? If you are a traveler who wants variety, history, modern architecture, nightlife, and then a beach escape, Germany is absolutely worth visiting. The city-to-coast mix is real, and the infrastructure makes it easier than many people expect. If you want to live here long-term, Germany is best for people who value stability, systems, and long-term quality of life over constant excitement. It's good for students, professionals, families, and anyone who wants Europe access with strong domestic structure. But some people will struggle. If you need spontaneous, flexible living where everything is fast and informal, Germany may feel heavy with rules and administration. If you expect beaches like tropical water and warm seas, you may be disappointed. Germany's beaches are beautiful, but often windy and cooler. And if you want a Hollywood lifestyle in the celebrity sense, Germany's glamour is quieter, more understated. Now the balanced pros and cons, no exaggeration. One major advantage is transportation and connectivity. Germany makes it easy to move around without a car, and national options like the Deutschlandticket are a game changer for daily mobility. Another advantage is variety. Berlin's creative chaos, Hamburg's harbor energy, Munich's polished calm, and then the coastlines of the North and Baltic Seas. This diversity means you can find your Germany rather than accept one version. A third advantage is the quality of everyday infrastructure, public spaces, parks, transit systems, and services that support normal life, not just tourism. A fourth advantage is food access at different budgets. You can eat cheap street food and bakery meals, or you can upgrade to high-end dining in luxury districts. Berlin's street food culture is one of the clearest examples of budget-friendly, filling options. Now the challenges. Housing pressure is a real problem in many cities. Finding an apartment can be stressful, and prices can be high for what you get. Weather can be a lifestyle challenge. Germany's beaches are real and beautiful, but the climate is not a guaranteed summer everyday experience. Wind, clouds, and cold water are part of the identity.
Bureaucracy is another challenge. Paperwork, appointments, and administrative processes can be frustrating, especially for newcomers. And socially, some people experience loneliness early on because making close friendships may take time and effort. The social reward can be strong, but the beginning can feel quiet. So, the final verdict: Germany dream lifestyle. Is it worth it, and is it overrated? Germany is worth visiting, especially if you want a travel experience that mixes iconic European history, modern city energy, and surprising coastal escapes. The beaches are not a marketing trick. They exist, and places like Sylt and Rügen can be stunning in very different ways. For visuals that support the dream, Germany's coast and landmark night scenes are genuinely cinematic. Germany is worth living in if your dream lifestyle includes structure, safety, public transport, and long-term stability, more than constant luxury or celebrity glamour. It's not a cheap paradise, and it can feel strict, but as a balanced, high-functioning place to build a life with access to travel, it's quietly powerful. Overrated or underrated? Germany's beaches and city energy are underrated because most people don't even think to connect those two ideas with Germany. But the Hollywood part is only true if you define it as iconic streets and cinematic city atmosphere, not celebrity fantasy.